client administration. So we are discussing about the SAP client administration. As part of the client administration, client creation, client creation using the SCC4 is the transaction code. We can create the client. Okay, client settings, client creation, those things we'll do using the SCC4. Then, so the logical system creation for client creation, logical systems are very important. Using the sale or BD54 transaction codes will create the logical systems as well. Also, so we can do the client copies to copy the data from one client to another client. We will use the client copies. So we have the three types of local client copies are available here, right? Local client copy using the SCCL, we will do the local client copy, right? So remote client copy. So remote client copy SCC9. So all the client related transaction code starts with the SCC star. Okay, L for local. So R9. So A, B, C, D, A1, B2, something like that. R9 for remote client copy. Okay. So then client export and import. So export SCC8, E8, E8. So something like that. If you cut the E horizontally or vertically, so E will come. Then SCC7, import, I for import, right? So I7 in the third language we will write like I as a 7, right? So simply remembering purpose 7. And also the client copy logs we can find out in the client copy logs. We can check in SCC3 is the transaction code here, right? So then, so client deletion. Suppose if you want to delete the client, so then you can use the SCC5. So if you delete the client, entire client data will be gone. All the data will be gone. So client copy logs, SCC3 is the client copy logs here. So then, so client transport, that is called the SCC1 or the transaction codes here. Since so these are the transaction codes for the entire client administration part here. Here, so most of the people will prefer remote client copy or within the system local client copy. These two are the majorly used here. So exactly the client copies means copying the data to the other client. Here basically uh, client copies are the pull mechanisms. Once again, I'm repeating, client copies are the pull mechanisms. Pull mechanism. Pull means, right? Pulling the data from the others, right? Source, right? Maybe if you want to pull it, you need to log into the target, right? So that is the thing you have to do it here, right? It's a simple concept, simple understanding concepts. These are pull mechanisms and push mechanisms. Okay. So what you have to do here, suppose you have the two systems are there, ABC and XYZ, two systems are there, right? ABC, right? ABC, and there is a XYZ, XYZ. Suppose there is a requirement to transfer the data to XYZ system from means source, ABC system. Then you need to log into the XYZ system with the client, wherever the which client you need the data. Then you need to establish the connectivity to here. Then you can use the profile. Then you can pull the data to the your target system. You need to pull it out. But you will be in the here itself only pull mechanism. You are here, you are pulling the data from in this system here, right? So that is the main thing here. So in case of it is the local client copy. In case of local, this is the source client, this is the target client within the system. You need the data to in this client, you need to log into the in this client. In this client means if it is a newly created client, you can log in, then you can just pull the data from here. Within the system, you don't require the RFC destination, right? Internal connections will be used here. So you can pull it out here. So the one more method is called the client export and import method. Client export and import method. So actually this client export and import method is depend on the transport management system. There is a one upcoming topic, new topic which will come in the next week. This will depend on the export import method. So normally when you are doing the TMS configuration between the systems, there is a common trans directory will be shared across the landscape. Across the your SAP systems, the common trans directory will be used here. So which means common means this ABC also will use the same trans directory. This is also will use the same trans directory here. So in another system also will use the same trans directory. That is the landscape here across the system development, quality, pre-prod, regression, sandbox, training, whatever it may be in your system, everything will use the common trans directory. Okay. So why? Because the transporting purpose, transporting the data. So this is the entire client data you are copying from source to target system here. Source to target system. You can use the remote client copy, a direct transfer to here. Maybe export import method, but you are in the middle, you are exporting to somewhere, then you are importing to the somewhere here. That is a two-step approach. So here, this is also one of the safer approach as well. SEC 8, using the 8, you can export it. SEC 9, you can import into the SEC 7, you can import it to the target system here, right? So this is also one safer approach here. Only thing is here, two-step approach and it is a time-taking process, but the data is in the safe here. Data is in the safe. Why? Because so here SAP systems and your file systems are in the your local server only. So data also safe here. But this is the network level. You are directly continuous transfer you are doing. Something if any network issues, your remote client copy will be cancelled status, will break, right? So that type of issues, if you think, then you can use the SCC8 and SCC7 export and import methods here, right? So the only thing is here, client copies here, when you are transferring the data from here to here, target client, first it will delete the all the data, whatever the data is there in the XYZ system and client, it will delete everything. Then it will copy the data from here to here, it will copy the data. So it will not append the records. It will not overwrite the existing records. It will not just to add the additional entries here. Just it will delete it here. Sir, in that case, always client copies are not the better approach, right? Yeah, it's not the better approach. Only one time activity or during the time of system builds, during the time of creation, testing purpose, we will do the client copies. Then, sir, here I have developed the one object, two records are I developed here. I want to move only these two records to the here. Then what is the procedure means? As I mentioned here, transport approach. STMS, the next topic, transport approach. That is only the whatever the additional records you created that will move to the target system, means that will append the records. Or here we have the 20 records. Here I have the 20 records are there. Here I have created the three more records. Then I want only three more records I want to be inserted here, means that is the transport request. That is the next topic, right? So don't compare that one. This is the entire client data you are moving to the target here. A, B, C, X, Y, Z, whatever the data, whatever the waste is there in the client in ABC client, all the data you are moving to the here, right? So you are exporting to the local file systems via files. You are doing the export options here. Via files, you are doing the export options here. Suppose example, if you go to the SCC8 normally TMS configuration is required here. TMS configurations are required here to perform this one here. So both the systems in the TMS configurations, maybe next topic import, but now also the partially we can perform the export and import method within the system as well. That is we can perform it here. So what you have to do, you need to log into the systems, maybe take the ECD system, SEC8, okay, 8, client export. Then, so just do the, what is the target system or target group, you can select it here. target system means suppose like NW1. So ECD to NW1, you need to select it, but it won't work. Select the same system. So schedule as a background job, immediately schedule as a job. Okay, ECD 100 client, you are doing the export here. When you are exporting, it will create the some file set operating system level. One is the cross client data, client specific data, client specific text. These three files will be created. So maybe we can see that three files at operating system level here. So if you log into the operating system level of this one, trans directory, USR SAP trans, and co-files and data files. Okay. So what I'm going to do, 79 request I am exporting, then it will create a some file set operating system level. So 78 is there. Now 79 will be created here. 79 will be created here operating system level. So we can observe it SCC3 for the we can observe it whether the exports are happening or not, or cancelled or processing, whatever it is happening, we can observe it here. It is processing. See, it is processing. The request is processing. The request number is the 79, which means so KT 00079 request number is processing. See, KT 79 request got generated, which means it created the some file set operating system level under the trans directory. Here actual data resides in this file system only. In this file system only, actual data resides here, right? So whatever you have doing that got exported here, that got exported here. So now what we can do here using the SCC7, right? We can do the import SCC7. Then the immediately when you use the SCC7, then in the target client automatically your request will come to here. Then click on the schedule as a background job. Your request will be imported. Your request will be imported here. Export and import methods, right? So your request will be imported status here. That what it will happen in the systems here. That what it will happen in the system. So exports and import method, client exports and client import methods. So we can use it. But this is the rare cases people will use. Why? Because so instead of they have to export it and you need to check the while data is exporting to here, you need to check the your file system free space and everything. Then you need to import to the from here to here, and both the systems are under the link. Then so there is a prerequisites. So that is the reason if you use the remote client copy, this is the direct attack.
Sir,
Directly you can transfer the data to the target system. That's it. This is
sir,
the you need to export it, then you have to do the import option here.
sir, I have
So
one question
Ravi,
about it.
here this user SAP trans should be linked with two systems, is it? It is in
Right.
a common file system.
Common file systems.
Okay. So from there too,
Uh,
we have to do the input.
Right.
Yes, sir. Where can we find these changes in the OS level, means while doing the client copies?
Changes means what changes?
Means the export import thing, or
So maybe you see this one. So in the trans directory, we can see it here. While data is exported or not, yes, it is exported. Data is imported or not, you can see it here. So export import methods, we can see it here. SAP level SCC3 is the transaction code. There we can find out the what's happening here, whether the client copy completed or not. Logs, we can check it out. Two
okay.
ways.
Also,
sir,
also for the logical name we are giving, so we can find this on OS level as well.
OS level, you cannot find out. SAP level you are doing means SAP level only. These logical systems you cannot find out in the OS level.
Okay.
sir, can we do export and import parallelly, or once export completed, then we have to do it in
Once
import?
export completed, we have to do the import only. Parallel is not possible.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay. So then SCC5 is for the deletion. Suppose unfortunately, suppose the deletion also SAP introduced it But if you use this deletion, normally in the real time, don't use it. So if you use this deletion command, entire client data will be deleted. Entire your client will be deleted from the system. Client deleted means entire data what is there in the client, it will be deleted. So don't do it this one. Just remember this one. Don't do it. Why? Because one of my the previous colleague is in the maybe let's say it's years back. We are working on one of the big four organization. Unfortunately, he deleted the client. Then the logs are everything is captured in the SEC3. So then the teams got escalated and he fired from the project. So that will happen. So remember that one. So this is one of the dangerous transaction core, deletion of the client. Until unless you have the approval and you done it, that's fine. But so unfortunately, something you are testing something in the real time. So don't use this one. Just remember this one. That's why I'm telling. So just don't use this one. Very, very dangerous transaction code. If you something you use it here, so we cannot roll back it also here. We cannot stop it once you schedule the job. Everything will be deleted. That is the one thing here. And one more thing is the SCC1. This is like a client transport. So as you mentioned, right? Sir, someone mentioned yesterday. So, sir, I don't want to copy the entire data here. Sir, why I have to copy the data within the system? I have something like, so here, suppose like in the development system, I have the two clients are there in the development box. Normally in the development box, we will do this kind of things here. Not we, developers will do. So, sir, here we have the one client. Here we have the one client. Two clients are there here. So one is the unit testing, one is the black box testing, central testing, one is the development, one is the unit testing. They will do that one here. Two clients developments. What they will do, suppose like example, here they have the 100 client. Here we have the 200 client for the unit testing. They have done the development in the 100 client. Sir, then I want to, this client data, I want to move to the here means, sir, client data means entire data will come. I don't want to like this. Whatever the object I have developed here, only that object, that data, that request to be moved to the 200 client. Only that one, not entire data. So in that case, what we have to do, client transport mechanism, we can use it to transport it. Otherwise, within the system, right, there is a one transaction code SAP introduced, that is called the one transaction code SAP introduced called the SCC1 client transport, which means suppose, sir, I have developed in my source client SCC1 client transport. Suppose like 101 client, one of my friend developed some data here. Let me check what data we have here. I don't think we have the data. No data. Maybe they will create the some transport request here. That request, so the request means this is also same. The request means one kind of transport request means one container. Actually, request means container. It will store the some data here. Only that data we want to import to the your client. Your target client is the target client. We want to create it. So that one, only that data we can import it via client transport. We can do that one. Client transport, we can do that one. So let me see, maybe 0, what is the client number? 111. So SAP star. Okay, example, this one, SCC1. Only that data I want to develop, which is there in the my 100 client. 100 client, I have the some data. So this data, I want to transport it to the here, in this case here. So here I need to check what is the data is there here. First of all, what is the transport request are there here. Suppose there is a workbench request, there is a request are there here. Okay, this request. Okay, in this request there is a data. I want to move this data to the 100 client to the 111. Then you can use the this one immediately. You can do that one. This kind of a client transport. Only that particular data will be copied, not entire data. Only the particular data will be copied here. That's we call it as the client transport. Client transport. Normally, developers will use it this one. Developers will use this client transport here. So it's not by us, developers will use it just for remembering the transaction codes of the SEC1 and SEC5 explained, but developers mostly they will use this for this one. Okay. This is the client administration part. So main thing here, you are performing the data means as a prerequisites, you need to check the space at OS level or DB level, you need to check the space. You should have enough space. You are copying 1 GB data from here to here, you should have the 1 GB free space should be there, right? Then you should have a valid user. You should be able to log into the target client and with the valid user, and should have the permissions, right? So these things you need to check before you perform. Then target client should be created. Logical should be assigned. Then you can for the enough free background work process is required. Why? Because you are scheduling as a background job, then background work process are required. So these are the things we need to consider, we need to check it out here, right? See here, there is some errors, failures in the work process. Not sure what's happening here. Trace, display trace, check what's happening here. Time zone issue not valid. There is a time zone issue. Okay, system time zone. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so like that we need to check it out these things here. Okay, so this is a client administration. Okay, so any questions, anyone regarding the client administration?
Sir, this one for the export and import.
Yes.
So, like you mentioned, uh, is it possible the data from if we like for example there is a production client and we want to move all the production data to the quality system, correct?
Right.
So the same process we have to do, and this one it will be saved in the quality server, right?
Same process. Any data from any system to any data to any system, we can transport it. There is no restrictions. You can transport it. The thing is, when you are doing the export or when you are doing the remote client copy, so there is some performance impacted. Why? Because already there is a business is running in the production system. Then when you are doing the export, this export also will impact the some performance. So may make sure you have the enough there is no performance issues, less users are logged in, or when you have to do this kind of activities in the production system when we don't have much business, means less hours, means off business hours, we have to perform this kind of activities in the systems. So non-production
Like
systems, that is fine, so we can do it anytime. Why? Because there is no much business impact on the systems.
yes.
But productions, carefully, like off business hours or there in the weekends, so we have to do this kind of things.
First we can export then import, right, in the leisure time,
Yes,
correct?
yes,
And sorry, in the production server, like you said, we have to be checked for the performance also, right?
yes.
If it is the data is too huge, like around 5 terabyte, and we have to you log the users, or we can continue with the work.
So normally the client copies, this kind of things, don't think we will perform in the production systems. It will be only performed in the non-production systems. Why? Because production
No, no,
systems,
no,
we
no,
cannot.
no.
Let me complete it
Um,
first. Let me
okay, sir.
complete it first. So normally this client copies exporting from production. So that is not the recommended option. In that case, what they will do, they will do the backup and restore method, or so maybe they will use the remote client copy or export import also sometimes. That depends upon the customer. So why? Because there is an impact. If you lock the user cannot able to do any transaction code. So they cannot perform the anything. So that is the reason that depends upon the customer only. It's not like specific to the all the customers, specific, that is the customer interest. SAP giving the options to the multiple options they are giving. Either remote client copy you perform it, or export import method you can perform it. That is your wish. The performance issues you are getting means that is your wish. The way you have to plan it in the off business hours. Whether you lock the user, whether you don't lock the user, that is your wish. So in that case, that is our wish. If you lock the user, then user cannot able to perform. Then maybe your client will get the some business loss, some transaction loss related activities. That is our wish. We want to decide it that we have to, as a basis consultant, we have to recommend to the customer, no. Production, if you are doing the export is running from the last 13 hours, last 2 days onwards. It's a 9 terabyte data, 1 terabyte data. It's running from longer time means definitely there is a performance issue. We should not allow. Then in this case, take the backup and restore it on the quality system. Then that approach, you can do that one. Safer approach.
Okay.
So you got it? Your question, you got the answer?
Yeah, I got it, sir. I mean, like you said, everything in details, but my question was like all the production data we move to quality, right? So you said it will save in one folder, right? Like USR trans.
It is the export under the USR SAP trans only, it will save it.
So if we take the export data of production, it will be saved in client
Same.
copy, right? I mean quality server, right?
Yeah,
We have
same
to
file
go to
system.
quality.
Same file
Okay.
system, it will save it. File
Okay, sir.
system level, not the SAP level. File system level, it will save it.
Yes. And if it is, sir, the drive full, so we have to delete the like uh, folder or what?
If the drive is full, then you need to extend it. Drive is full, you have to basic thing. If the space, if there is no space, what we will do? We may delete the unnecessary things in the folder. If in case unnecessary things are there. If there is no unnecessary things, then only client data, then you need to extend the space.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Any other
Thank you,
questions,
sir.
anyone? So because tomorrow there is no class, I'm not available. I have a one HANA DB upgrade activity. So maybe you can use this time. There is a high availability HANA DB upgrade is planned in the UK morning hours, off business hours. So that I have to do that one in the cluster environment. So I may not, I will be in the calls, continuous calls. So that's why I may not be possible tomorrow class. So any doubts, so you can just maybe you can practice it. So that's fine. So today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, Monday we'll start the transport administration concept. In that concept is very important and daily activity. So client copies and all, I'm not whether you will get or not, we don't know, but transport topic is it's a daily, hourly, maybe frequently you may perform the transports. Why? Because developer will develop the thing here, then the development related things you have to move to the quality. In the quality system, they will do the testing. Same thing we will move to the production system. So this moving the importing options is related by the basis team. So daily you will get hundreds of requests, the multiple. This is one of the common activity. It's a very important topic for us. So that is a very important topic. So that's why I will tell tomorrow and Monday again some topics many will get confused. That's why. So just you can just practice it, whatever the topics we completed today till today. So installation also not much required. So background jobs are important, and the client remote client copy, local client copy, client creation, logical systems, and client settings changes also one of the our daily activity or weekly activity. Sometimes you may get the email from the customer saying that, "I basis team, could you please open the client, close the client?" That is also one of the important thing. So you need to open the client immediately. You need to close the client after you done the changes. So these are the, as of now, these things are the very important. As we completed it up to client administration in the up to here. So main important thing which you have to concentrate on the background jobs. Don't think more on the installations. Those things are not much. Background jobs are very important here. Then RFC connections creations very important. So RFC, then profiles and parameter changes. Okay. So then, so client creation. Then sometimes local client copy. Maybe you can take the remote client copies, local and remote client copy. Then, so these things and client copy logs, and also you need to check the where to check the above dumps, which means ST22, SM21. So and yes, these things are as of now. You need to mainly concentrate on these things. Okay, background jobs RFC. Why? Because in the interview is the 30 minutes or 1 hour. In that 30 minutes time, people will not concentrate on all the topics, and the real time also you won't get all the topics exposure. Just if you have some subject theoretical, that's fine. Only exceptional cases you will get sometimes. That time you may have to perform these activities. But daily we may have to check the background jobs. Sometimes you may get the request to create the RFC destinations to the other systems. Sometimes you may be asked to change the some parameters, then you have to change it. Then so client creation, that is also you will not get here in the client creation. So client open, client close, that you will get it out. That's why just client SEC4. Then local client copy, remote client copy, not the daily activity. Rare cases we may get the perform the client copies, maybe yearly once. Either you or your friend or your colleague will get that activity. Who are the, so then client copy, logs checking. Why? Because you are performing the client copy, then you need to check the logs whether it's successful or not, right? Then normally, regularly, we will check daily, we will check the ST22, SM21 dumps as well. So these things are important. Okay, only concentrate on these things so that you will get more exposure on these things. Then you can understand the better understanding the concept. Tomorrow, if anyone asks any questions, we can simply answer these things. Okay.
Sir, now you're going to close the today's session.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can
So
start the
is it
new
okay
topic,
to ask?
but it's in the middle only. That's why just I'm pausing here. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking if any questions you can ask me now.
Yeah. Is it okay to ask you for the Fury installation, sir?
Fury install,
Like
whatever the completed topic, if you can ask the questions, not the future topics.
Fury in future, huh?
Future topic, I can explain the Fury, which you asked me to tell the Fury topic as well. Just installation part, I can explain it. Okay.
Yeah, installation, yes. Okay.
So I hope no one don't have questions. I think please practice it and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Thanks, guys. If you want, I can explain some small topic. I can explain it maybe. If you don't, if you are missing some, we are losing some time. We have 20 minutes time, I think 30 minutes, so I can explain it. Your wish. That's right. We can practice it. Okay, don't worry. We'll go slowly.